how it happened. This is how the Joker died.
Alright then, so this is going to be a strange topic for everybody else, but I'm gonna do it. So, welcome back for more of Batman Return to Arkham City as we do our side quest in progress. And this is number 6. So this is called about knowing your enemies. So I'm guessing enemy info. Why not? So yeah. And we're gonna do like just maybe 4 enemies, perhaps. So the Penguin, the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, and the Joker. Why not? Let's start with the Riddler, who is obsessed. Okay, so yeah, why not? Let's see. 4 tapes out of the Riddler, who is the bully, who thinks he knows everything, is so smart. He's not. Doesn't realize his own mistakes.
Do not fret, Mr. Mayor. Everything is under control, I promise you.
It's not that I don't trust you, Hugo. It's just the headaches. The pain. They come all the time now.
Continue to take the medication. It is late, Mr. Mayor. You are tired. You need your sleep.
Of course, I need my sleep.
You will hang up now.
I will hang up now.
Imbecile.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
What? How dare you enter my office?
Oh, I'm not in your office. And please don't insult me by attempting to trace this broadcast. You will fail.
I take it I am talking to Mr. Edward Nigma.
Do you know of any other inmate in your twisted little penitentiary who is ingenious enough to arrange this little chat?
Narcissism, a compulsive desire to prove his intellect, and a predilection for riddles.
You've read my file.
Of course.
Good. Then let's get started. How do you attempt to understand what is going on in Arkham City when all of the answers are strange?
Oh, I see what he did there. He put a pun in the riddle that makes him... You know, that's pretty clever for the Riddler. Edward Nigma.
Good evening, Hugo. I believe it is time for our one-on-one.
No. It is time for you to stop this and give up. My tiger guards will find you, and when that happens, I will perform the procedure on you myself.
Procedure? Oh, you mean what you did to all those poor fools back at the asylum. To be honest, I think you did them a favor.
How do
I know that you requested access to all the most forgettable patients and proceeded to melt their brains with the help of that confused milliner? Or did you mean, how do I know that you have been providing the ex-warden with your own special medication? No doubt intended to render his synapses more malleable to your suggestions. Or maybe you are currently wondering if I know about the secret panel in your closet. How it slides back to reveal what you want most. How you sit, wearing that suit, crying into your hands as you question whether you are really worthy.
What do you want, Mr. Nigma?
Oh, that's easy. I want exactly what you want.
And what's that?
Batman, dead. Humiliated, but dead.
You know you're not going to win this no matter how hard you try, so you can't win this, even though my secret identity's been revealed and it's no longer a secret, and you're telling me I don't believe Bruce Wayne is Batman or Leo. You're saying like I don't believe in Bigfoot, which makes you even a bigger idiot. You lack faith.
Knock, knock, Professor. Guess who?
I grow tired of these insipid games, Mr. Nigma. If you wish to speak to me, my guards will escort you safely to my tower.
Please, Hugo. If you're going to set a trap, at least pretend to try harder than that.
No traps, Edward. I simply wish to grant you safe passage through Arkham City. I think the time has come for us to meet as equals.
You, Strange? My equal? I am the man whose cunning will soon have Batman lying at my feet, bloodied and broken.
Really?
Then I will pull off his mask and look into his dull, dying eyes. In that last instant, he will know that I have finally beaten him. And I will finally know who he really is.
My apologies, Edward. I see now we are nowhere near equals.
Finally.
You see, like me, you are obsessed with the Batman. But unlike me, you don't know who he really is, do you?
What?
Ooh, so he doesn't. So somewhere at the beginning he doesn't know, but at the end of Arkham Knight, he finally knows who I really am, but still doesn't believe it and waiting for who the real Batman is. And it's like I said, it's like he doesn't believe in Bigfoot. What kind of person who thinks he's so smart who doesn't believe who it is? He really needs to grow up and move on. And he holds a grudge so well he just doesn't want to let go. He's just completely plain ridiculous. Because he's a non-believer. Let's go, number 4.
I know you were lying, Strange. There is no way that you could have figured it out. It's some kind of trick. It must be.
Oh, I use no tricks, no childish puzzles. I simply created a psychological profile of the man most likely to be the Batman, and then matched it against the most logical candidate. I was right, of course.
Well, who is he?
Ah, but that would spoil the game for you, wouldn't it?
You must tell me. I implore you, Strange.
Really, Edward? If I could figure it out, it must be child's play for you.
But I...
Interesting. Tell me, Edward, how is the Riddler like a blank dictionary? You're both at a loss for words.
I see what he did there. Hugo Strange just put a riddle to give to the Riddler because he doesn't realize he is a blank dictionary. If you catch the meaning of the riddle, if you know what I mean, because I do and he doesn't. So let's move on with the Penguin. The classy looking little British midget there. Let's go with number 1.
I'm only doing this as a courtesy, Strange. Don't think you've beaten me.
I just thought we could both benefit from a little talk, Mr. Cobblepot.
Don't try that psycho mumbo-jumbo with me, Strange. I'm not like the other crazies.
Of course not. After all, considering the challenges you faced.
Challenges? What freaking challenges? You're no better than me. No one is. I own this place.
Well, to be clear, I allow you certain freedoms, but let's continue. Why do you feel the need to own anything? I believe it is a mechanism to compensate for some childhood inadequacy. You were friends with the Waynes, correct?
I was. Till someone did the world a favor and blew the brains out of little Wayne's self-righteous parents. I was laughing for weeks. It still brings a smile to my face.
And you think that's okay?
Okay? No, I don't think it's okay. I think it's bloody hysterical. That family destroyed mine. What happened to them? Well, it couldn't have happened to nicer people.
Wow, you're a jerk and you show dishonor and disrespect. This here is a bad example of why the Penguin never honors. He likes to disown people so he can get what he wants and get even. Kids, And boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, do not be like the Penguin whose real name is Oswald Cobblepot. He wants to disown anybody. And he is a bad man.
Take a seat, Mr. Cobblepot.
What is it now, Strange?
I wanted to talk about your apparent hatred of the Waynes. Your outburst last time was most interesting.
Oh, it's simple, really. I don't like the snivelling little bastard. Look at him. All high and mighty because someone killed Mummy and Daddy.
Most people look upon him with sympathy.
No, they don't. They're jealous. Jealous of his money, his cars, his women. He lost the sympathy vote when he vanished for all those years. I can't tell you how much I hoped he was visiting his dear Mum and Dad.
Where do you suppose he went?
How am I supposed to know?
Let us move on, then.
No. It's time that you do something for me.
And what is that?
Here's a list.
A list, huh? So, I'm guessing he has something. However, I got a little joke for him. Or some kind of pun. He's so fat that his high school year photo's mistaken for a helicopter. How's that for being so small for a big shot like you are in Arkham City, huh?
Told you, Strange. No more little questions until you give me what I want.
Take a look, Mr. Cobblepot. Here is a purchase order for the various firearms you require. I must say, you chose an exotic selection.
I only take the best.
A wise strategy.
So what's yours?
Excuse me?
What are you up to? Why would you give me of all people, guns, explosives, all this stuff?
Arkham City is an experiment, Mr. Cobblepot. A new way of thinking. We've separated you from society, so I am more than willing to study the results if you all just decide to kill each other. Besides, your feud with the Joker is intriguing.
I was here first. I bought my museum in the Iceberg Lounge fair and square. It was you and that mayor who stuck us all together.
Again you refer to owning things. Quite fascinating. I believe we gave you the opportunity to leave.
And take over my turf. Never.
So, he does like to own things. So, remember what happened, what he said back in the museum when we faced him. He is a collector. He wants to own things. He wants to have everything he has in his own right. And he says, if I want to get something, I want it bad and I want it now. And if I don't have it, I'll get it. It means he will get what he wants. So here's the question. Does he think it's okay for him to get what he wants? He is so fat that he mistaken himself as Frosty the Snowman because he's not wearing a white coat and with a carrot nose and two lump of coals of his eyes and lump of coal on the smiley mouth and buttons. I guess that's why they call him not Frosty. He is nasty. Number 4.
Good evening, Mr. Cobblepot. I trust you received the second delivery.
Yeah, I did. I don't know what you did to those dribbling monkeys, Strange, but they were perfect.
I'm glad. It appears that we can both help each other.
If you say so. I suppose it doesn't hurt that by the time I'm done with them, they're usually in too many pieces for anyone to know what you're really getting up to in those rooms of yours.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
Of course not. So, Hugo. The clown. Is he really dying?
It appears so. Self-inflicted, of course, but yes, he is. He has Mr. Freeze working on a potential cure, but I am sure neither of us want him to get his hands on it, do we?
So he is the one responsible for telling Penguin to take Nora Freeze and then decide to give it to someone of whose caliber. And so it all started is none other than Hugo Strange, who actually told the Penguin to kidnap Mr. Freeze and the suit, and I had to go to Joker because he was dying to get a cure, and the Joker thinks that Mr. Freeze has gone cold on him, and I had to go after him, and I had to stop the Penguin, find Mr. Freeze, get his suit, and I had to find a cure of Ra's al Ghul's blood, get a sample to extract Ra's al Ghul's blood, and then I go back to Victor Freeze, tell him that I found it, and then all of a sudden the cure was there, and then you know the rest, and I had a fight, and it was all Hugo Strange. I blame him. It's his fault. Why does he do this to me? Ah! I don't like him. It just makes me so mad.
We're ready.
Good. Now, one last thing. Your face.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
The eye. I believe it was the result of a bar brawl, correct?
Torag got lucky. He got his, though. He took my eye. I took both of his. Left him trying to walk across the Gotham freeway at rush hour. Hilarious.
You're a rich man, Mr. Cobblepot. You could have had that glass removed.
They said it was impossible. And what the hell? I think it gives me a more unique look. Know what I mean? Now, where is Freeze?
He's right here, in the room next door. You can take him with you. Are you familiar with the term Napoleon complex?
No. What is it?
It's nothing. Oh, and one last thing. Here is a list of 10 prisoners I believe work for you.
Yeah? So what? You want to saw their heads open and scoop out their brains too?
No. I just thought you'd like to know that they are all in the employ of the GCPD.
What?
I believe you know what to do with them. I don't like being spied on, Mr. Cobblepot. Good night.
So it was him who started. So it was Hugo Strange who gave away the clue about who was working for Cobblepot by working undercover, huh? All the evidence leads to one person responsible for all this who created Arkham City. And that is Hugo Professor Strange. Because he just doesn't like to get in. He doesn't want any evidence point to him. And he puts the evidence to blame on others, including everyone else. So no one will ever follow him from what direction that will lead to. Straight to him. Mr. Freeze. So we're going to hear a story about him. And this is kind of a sad one, so yeah, let's hear it.
Prisoner's here, sir.
Very good. Send him in.
But we haven't got the suit off him yet. He's dangerous. Are you sure?
Of course. Victor Freeze and I have much in common. We will be fine. Welcome to my facility. Please, take a seat.
I prefer to stand. Why am I here?
Oh, Victor, there will be plenty of time for that later. Right now, I wish to get to know you. Discover how you came to have such a frosty outlook on life.
I have nothing to say to you. You may have taken my weapons, but my suit still has considerable offensive capabilities. I will freeze the marrow in your legs. Each bone will shatter and fracture while you remain completely aware of your impending paralysis, begging me to end you.
I don't think that you will do that, Victor.
Really? Why not?
Simple. If you hurt me, your wife will die.
That is not a smart move on Hugo Strange. He kidnapped her. this is something is going on here. What? Because Victor Freeze will go insane. I do not like the way it looks from going on in tape 2.
Where is she? Where is my wife?
Nora is in safe hands. Now, let's discuss an incident from your childhood.
No.
Then this is over. Guard.
Wait. What do you wish to learn?
Your early years were troubled.
I was not a sociable child, but that is all.
Even your parents disowned you. They sent you away to a reform school, correct?
They did not understand my work.
Your work? According to a police report, you froze over a dozen of your neighbor's pets.
I have always had an interest in cryonic preservation. I didn't understand why my parents allowed our sick pets to die instead of attempting to save them. So I set about finding my own way. I intended to revive all of those creatures.
But you didn't. Which brings us to Nora.
And this is getting a little more interesting. For why did he froze those pets to try to save them? And this leads to one direction of one clue, and that's his wife. And I believe it's tapes 3 and 4, and perhaps number 5.
Have you ever seen a flower die? Watched something that was once so beautiful, so full of life, collapse and rot from within?
You refer to Nora's illness.
It seems like yesterday when I first found her. It all happened so quickly. Suddenly, I was losing her.
Did you seek help? What about your employer, Gothcorp?
I hid it from them, diverting resources from Gothcorp's research in an attempt to find the cure. But in the end, I failed. Time was running out. I knew that if I was discovered, Nora would die.
Why take that risk?
Do you know what it is to love someone? To really love them?
No.
Nora was all I could think of. I reran the diagnostics, re-examined every detail from every angle, certain that I had missed something. I cursed myself for being so blind, so stupid. Surely there was a cure. I just needed more time. Then I realized what I had to do.
So tell me, what did you do?
I had worked without sleep for a week. My needs didn't seem important. Sleep didn't matter. Food didn't matter. There was only her. I looked at Nora and I told her that I loved her. She told me there was nothing I could do, that we should just accept fate. She smiled her beautiful smile as she said it. I promised to cure her, and then I pressed the button.
You cryogenically froze her, keeping her on ice, so to speak, while you worked on a cure. It broke your heart, but now you had all the time in the world. Did you feel relieved?
I went home and fell into a deep sleep. For the first time since we discovered Nora's illness, I dared to dream. But for weeks I had ignored my superior's attempts to contact me. The next morning I overslept. By the time I got to the lab, Ferris Boyle, the CEO, was there waiting.
What did he do?
He accused me of industrial espionage, which I denied. But then his guards found Nora. Boyle told me that, like all of my research, she belonged to him. I was enraged. I attacked him. His guards beat me back, and in the struggle, I was drenched by the cryogenic chemical I had created. I lay on the floor, helpless, watching the guards steal Nora away. Boyle told me it was a tragedy for such a promising mind to perish in a lab accident. Then he left me to die.
But you survived.
The chemicals were absorbed into my body and transformed my metabolism. My body went numb. I felt a strange tingling, then searing pain all over. Each breath ignited my lungs. I clawed my way back to a refrigeration unit, and as I closed the door behind me, I felt the icy chill calm my aching body. Things suddenly seemed clear.
What seemed clear? Finding a cure for Nora?
No. Revenge. Boyle would pay.
So, I'm guessing he wanted revenge on the person who started this mess, and it all leads to Ferris Boyle. He blames Ferris Boyle by not helping him. So Ferris Boyle decided that he wants to pull the plug on Nora by not... If Victor Fries doesn't honor the part of the deal at GothCorp, but instead... He was going to murder her, which is a bad move on Ferris Boyle because this happened in Batman Arkham Origins, and he was not the humanitarian type person. He is going to jail, which did happen. If you check on my Cold Heart playlist, you should see it again. You can watch it as many times as you like. Of course, it happened. If it, and wow. Ferris Boyle, cruel, mean person. And this leads to a conclusion to tape 5.
You failed to kill Ferris Boyle, though, didn't you?
Yes.
Why?
You know why. Batman. Though he did return Nora to safety. Until you got her.
See? There you go. Blame me, blame your parents because you failed to revive the neighbor's pets, blame Ferris Boyle for spoiling your plans to cure Nora, blame Batman for stopping your revenge against Boyle. And now, your Nora is in danger.
Because of you.
No, Victor. Because of you. You have always had a heart of ice. You stole people's pets. You stole GothCorp resources, and since then you've stolen so much more for your own selfish scientific inquiries. If you had shared your genius with others, devoted your energy to medicine instead of crime, perhaps your ice princess would be at home now, preparing you a hot meal, instead of being delivered to the Joker.
No!
You could have saved Nora a long time ago, Victor.
It's all for her. Everything. I will get her back. And when I do, I'm coming for you.
Thank you. We are done now.
Nora.
Oh no. So... a sad story. And the reason why he did this is because he blames people. He doesn't want to take the blame because he's too stubborn as ice, and because he wants to blame people instead of blaming himself. Why can't he take the blame on himself and recognize his own mistakes? He should have grown up! Instead, he could have worked for Wayne Enterprises instead of GothCorp, but instead, he chose to blame others, but not himself. Shame on you for not blaming it on yourself, Victor. You know you could have been a better genius, but no, you want to blame others instead of yourself. You are not the brightest kind of person. You need help. You're not the bad guy. You just make poor decision making. Please end this dumb, ridiculous, stupid crime thing of making bad decisions. Seriously, Victor, you need help. And finally, the Joker. 5 tapes. I'm not going to spoil number 4 and 5 because I'm using a different file, okay, if you want to know. Using a different file. Tape 1.
Hello? Anyone in there? No sense of humor. Ah, the strong and silent type, eh? Think you're safe behind that mask? Give me 20
15 minutes and a can opener, and I'll have you whimpering like a schoolgirl. You might like it.
That's enough, patient. Guard, leave us.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Professor Hugo Strange. And you are...
Two-Face. Catwoman. Batman.
We can play these games as long as you like.
Great. I love games.
Not in my facility, you won't. I am offering you this opportunity to make a deal. I am fully aware of your condition. The last thing you have is time. But I can make your final days more comfortable.
And in return, I'd be giving you...
I wish to study you. I need to know why you are the way you are.
I don't have long, Doc. You're going to need more than some psycho mumbo-jumbo to get to the bottom of what's wrong with me.
Oh, I have more than that. Much more. So, do we have a deal?
Okay, so, I'm sorry, tape 1 kind of made me laugh about it. It was the dark humor. I can't believe I was... oh, mommy! Oh!
How are you feeling today?
You promised me another doctor, Strange.
Maybe you shouldn't have killed the one I sent last week. What made you do it?
Fish gotta swim, birds gotta fly. Besides, it was worth it to see the look on her face. Hey, you know what? I think I've got a piece of it here in my pocket.
You are trying my patience. That was the 3rd doctor you've killed.
Well, keep on sending them, Doc. I'm trying to break my record.
I think it is time for you to do something for me.
Name it, Doc.
Tell me how you came to be. Explain what made you what you are today. How you come to be sitting across the table from me. Dying.
Is that all? Well, I guess you could say I once had a very bad day.
Really? Go on.
It was a Thursday night. Things had been getting worse. I was 3 days from the bank foreclosing on my home. The chemical plant I worked nights at was about to lay off half the workforce. And I was sitting in the hospital, holding the hand of my pregnant wife, wishing to God that she wasn't dead.
That must have been upsetting for you.
Probably was. Back then, though, all I knew was that if I didn't let old man Falcone's men into the plant that night, they'd have killed me too. So here's the thing. I had to decide. Could I live without her? Was there any point going on? I've got to admit it. I was scared. Not of being dead, you understand.
No one would blame you if you were. It is perfectly common.
Do I look common? No. I was scared of the part just before you die, when you don't know what is about to happen, when you're desperately clutching at life and trying to hold on with slippery, blood-covered hands. So I made a decision right there.
And what was that?
That is a story for another day, Strange. I think I may need to see a doctor. Get me one.
No, I'm guessing he doesn't need a doctor, so he'll kill him off. So, the story is connected to partly of The Killing Joke by Alan Moore, which is also the name of a movie, which is an R-rated movie, not for kids, okay? Because that's for adults, and I'm not gonna, and I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to go above the hardcore limit, okay? I'd rather keep it PG to a mild PG-13, okay? So I'm gonna stop there. Let's listen to more of which also of The Killing Joke part.
You were telling me about the night your wife died.
Oh, no, Hugo. As I recall, I was waiting for you to send me another doctor.
We both know I have sent you 3 more doctors.
Did you?
Yes. One was left dismembered outside the elevator to my office. The other 2 have not been seen since they were sent to you.
How careless. Listen, Doc.
Professor.
Okay, Professor. I'll give you a little more. I just hope you're taking notes. It's the day after, and I'm standing in the freezing rain, just staring at the chemical plant, feeling numb. Jeannie was dead. It didn't seem real. I can remember the day I first met her. Her infectious smile as I told her bad joke after bad joke. How, even after living with the pathetic wretch I was, she still wanted my child. And then they arrived. Reality's way of yanking me another wedgie. Falcone's men told me to cheer up. He said things could be worse. I asked him how. He grabbed me by the collar, pulled me close. He'd been eating garlic, and each word stank as he threatened to perform oral surgery on me with a nail and a brick. Creative guy. They hand me a box. I remember thinking it was heavy. Was it a bomb? A gun? I'd never used a gun before. Were they that heavy?
And what was in the box?
How's that doctor coming along?
I'll get you one.
And when you do, I'll tell you the rest.
So this points out again with the Killing Joke, and it also points out to from all the way to Batman Arkham Origins. So yeah, the Killing Joke is kind of pretty dark if you want to know. Having one bad day that leads to the next moment of a person's life, like the Joker here, and here's more on number 4.
You are looking a little better, yes.
Well, I have my good days and bad days, but I do try and start each one with a smile.
Are you ready to continue your story?
Yeah, why not? So where was I?
The box.
Ah, yes, the box. So there I was, tearing open this box, expecting the worst. And all it had in it was a crazy red dome and a cloak. I thought they were having a joke with me, but oh no. They made me put it on. They said it was a disguise. It would keep me safe. It smelled like garlic. And that was it, really. I was dressed up like a spaceman, barely able to see, trying to break into the one place in this town that had given me a job. Have you ever tried to walk with an enormous fishbowl on your head? Don't answer that. It's hard. I couldn't see where I was going. I must have tripped one of the alarms. I heard muffled gunfire. I panicked and tried to run. And then I saw him.
Who?
Batman.
Really?
Yes, really. Batman tried to hit me. I moved out of the way, but, well, what you need to understand is I had this giant bowl on my head, and I lost my balance. It's like life, really. One minute everything's bad, and the next your wife's dead and you're hanging on for dear life, suspended over a tank of experimental chemicals. I'm sure he'd say he tried to save me, but we all know he didn't. I fell. For a second, just as I hit the surface, I thought I may just get away with this.
I assume that wasn't the case.
Do I look like I got away with it?
Oh no. So he's... I'm guessing he's blaming this on me from what happened back then in Batman Arkham Origins? What does this lead me to it? Did I ever push you into the bath of chemicals before? That was back in Arkham Origins, which I didn't. I thought you were a bad guy trying to stop something, but you were wearing a fishbowl in head that looks like Red Hood, which has happened in Injustice. Not Red Hood Jason Todd, Red Hood the Joker, but not the Jason Todd character, okay? And that also leads to pointing to the Killing Joke. Again, number 5.
I was drowning. The chemicals were burning my skin. My entire body felt like it was on fire. It was all his fault.
Whose fault? Batman's?
Who else?
Yours?
Come again?
Let me tell you what I believe. I believe that you have fabricated a series of events that you use to conceal the truth about your condition. I have read 12 different accounts of your past. All different, except for one detail. Batman.
What can I say? I like to keep things interesting. A wise man once told me that if you have to have an origin story, you're better off making it multiple choice.
And never facing up to the truth of what happened. What you did. How you got here.
Oh, I know exactly how I got here. A big truck brought me here from Arkham. You remember the asylum, don't you?
Of course.
Well, good. Because I'd hate to think that I'd fabricated seeing you watching me in my cell all those times.
Excuse me?
Hugo, you merry maniac. You were obsessed with me. You all were trying to get in here. Next thing you'll tell me it wasn't you who sent old Sharpie over the edge. Nice work, by the way.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. If you want to make sure that no one else finds out about your past, you should start poking your nose into mine. Oh, and send me another doc. I think I need a second opinion.
So, all of this, he blames on me by not saving him, falling into the bath of chemicals, and now he becomes the Joker, blames on me. First, he lost his wife, then Falcone's men and Falcone himself gives him more of a bad headache, to have a bad day, to decrease his morale and making him even the worst day possible, and then I came and stopped him and makes it even worser. If only he had one good day that's not bad, because of what happened by what he did to Superman back on Injustice on the first and second game, by thinking, if he's not happy, no one's happy, so everybody will feel the same way I felt of my pain and everyone else's. And that was a bad move against Superman. Because of that, it was stupid of him. Yeah, and I believe that is everything you find on the 4 villains of Part 6 Enemy Info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me if you guys still want me back for more of Batman returning to Arkham City, back to the Arkhamverse. Just leave a comment section below and mash that like button. So anyways, this is Leo Wolverine saying and speaking as always, Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. And once again, don't let the Joker win.